Rise of the ESports, they say. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kid Lee, and welcome to episode 2 of the Gaming Blog. For those who missed the first episode, this is a brand new series where I casually talk about video games, the gaming industry, and any news that might be happening. For this episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about the rise of esports in gaming and in just sort of the world overall. Now, for those who might not know what I'm talking about, esports at its core is basically just professional gaming. You know, people, whether they're by themselves or they actually get with a team to play games professionally, that's what they do for a living. They make money doing it, so forth and so on. It's something that is rising every day, and it's something that's just getting bigger and bigger all the time. Which is pretty cool. I mean, you go back, when I was growing up or even when I was in high school or college, to think that people could literally play video games for a living, and it's not even on the press side, actually on the competition side, it'd be like, you're talking crazy. Playing games for a living professionally, like a sports athlete maybe, you're talking crazy. But it's amazing on how things have just absolutely blown up. So we're going to use the green screen for this episode. I just wanted to kind of show you guys some stuff and talk about this. So we're going to go ahead and kick over to a live look at Twitch. Because when you talk about esports, you have to talk about Twitch. They've really been spearheading the movement, and now other places like ESPN and TBS, actual real television stations, have started to pick up on it. Now, when you go to Twitch, you might notice that a lot of times the same games are on there. And that's because those games are some of the biggest esports in the world, so they have a very, very high viewership. Again, right here, we've got League of Legends, Dota 2, Hearthstone, CSGO. Those 4 games are always on the front page of Twitch because everybody's always watching them. It's actually kind of funny here this morning as I'm recording this. There's actually a Street Fighter tournament going on, so that's pushed them up to the top page here. But just to give you an example of other games, you've got Super Smash Brothers, Halo, Call of Duty, just to name a couple others that have major esports followings. So it's really cool to see some of these games getting their rise as well. And it was actually just recently announced that Rocket League is going to get a full esports treatment, and actually Twitch is fully behind that one. So that's another game you can sort of chalk up to the list of getting the esports treatment. Now, one thing you might ask, well, wait a minute. Exactly how much money is in this sort of thing? And of course, it does vary game per game, but I've actually pulled up the Dota 2 International for 2000, well, it says 2015 here, but I think this is the page for 2016. Either way, look at the prize pool. $18 million for the prize pool. That is insane. Are you kidding me? The winner walks away with multiple millions, and if we actually scroll down here, it actually gives a little bit of a breakdown. So the winner, first place, gets $6.6 million. That's just crazy talk. So it's unbelievable that there's actually that much money in some of these games. And if we move over to Hearthstone for a second, Hearthstone is a single player game. I want to say off the top of my head, the winner from Hearthstone got $200,000 or $400,000, and then they place out through 10th place or 6th place or 5th place, I should say, or something similar to that. But just again, alone, the very first Hearthstone champion, it was $200,000. Kid from Ohio, I think he was, somewhere on the East Coast, walked away with that. But it's pretty insane at what they're doing here. And as you can see here, that there's a big banner right here on Twitch for Heroes of the Storm, aka Heroes of the Dorm as they call it. And you'll notice that it's actually being picked up by ESPN. ESPN over the last couple of months has started to realize, okay, this is blowing up. We probably need to do something with this. And they actually have, in addition to their coverage for Heroes of the Storm, which you can see is going to be on ESPN3 and watch it, ESPN. ESPN actually has a full esports section on their website now. So if we go over to ESPN, here's ESPN, the college basketball tournament going on right now. You can actually click here, and esports is at the top of their drop-down list. We can go ahead and we can click on that, and here's more Heroes of the Storm stuff. Here's some Street Fighter stuff, some Halo World Championship. So yeah, they actually are employing like writers and people to do, again, here's Hearthstone, but they're implying, or they're not implying, well, they are implying, but no, they're hiring, I guess I should say, writers and people to do full video game coverage now on ESPN. That's just, isn't that crazy? And if you would have gone back 10 years and talked to people on ESPN and said, you guys are going to be doing video game coverage on ESPN in 10 years, they're going to be like, get the hell out of here. What's the matter with you? And there's a lot of people, especially people in the sports world, who think that video games have no place on TV, on ESPN, and that sort of thing. But the one counter argument that I would have to that, again, go back, let's say 20 years or so, and say, or maybe even more than 20 years, 30 years, get into the early to mid 90s, and say, you know what, on ESPN, they're gonna show poker, and they're gonna show other sports like they show pool. You tell them you guys are gonna talk about and feature poker on ESPN, they'd say the same thing. Get out of here, you crazy person. Don't know what the hell you're talking about. But it's amazing on how this is growing. And then one other thing, and this was something that was announced last year, and that's TBS is bringing esports to a cable TV. I believe they said that they're going to be doing some the gun games like CS:GO, Halo, or something really, really similar to that. But yeah, even TBS is starting to jump on the bandwagon for this esports thing. Now, me professionally, you might ask me, well, what esports do I like to watch? And I'll admit I really don't watch that much. I'll sometimes watch the big tournaments as they come up. But I play a little bit of Hearthstone, so I do like watching the Hearthstone tournaments. I've watched a little bit of League of Legends, a little bit of Heroes of the Storm, a little bit of Super Smash Brothers. But if I had to pick a main one for myself, it'd probably be Hearthstone. And again, that's just because that's the one of the few that I actually play. I have played League of Legends and, of course, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and all those others. I have played those, but yeah, I don't really mess around with that stuff too much anymore. But yeah, I just wanted to do this little video just talking about sort of the rise of esports and sort of where it's going for 2016. It's going to be much more on, like I said, ESPN, TBS. They're going to experiment with it on cable television. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see where this all goes. Now, I'd like to hear from you guys. What do you think about esports being on ESPN or TBS? Do you think it should stay on the internet, or should it branch out to the major television networks? And also, I'd like you to tell me, if and when you watch esports, which esports do you watch? But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That will go ahead and do it for this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thank you all so much for watching. And with that being said, everybody keep playing and have fun.
See my grand city in the background. As the Sith Emperor, I control this world. My fleet of Star Destroyers orbit the planet, even over the city, as you can see.